Hello. So today we are going to talk about digestion in humans. Okay? And I hope that we all are doing good. Yes? Please mention it in the comments. How are you all doing? Yes? So, digestion in human, first I'll tell you about the path of the food. First the food it is taken into the mouth. From the mouth it reaches esophagus. Okay? After the esophagus it comes to stomach. Fine. After the stomach, it comes to small intestine, then to large intestine, then rectum, and then, in fact, then anus. That's the part. Rectum is the part of the large intestine. Okay, and then to anus. So what happens that when we take in the food, we start chewing it. So here, teeth and tongue, they help, right, in the chewing of the food. How they help in the chewing of the food? Teeth helps in the mastication of the food, and the tongue, it produces saliva, right? Mucus is produced by the tongue, and inside the mouth saliva is secreted. How is the saliva secreted? By the salivary glands. What does this saliva contain? It contains enzyme salivary amylase. What the salivary amylase does? It acts on the starch present in the food and converts it into sugar. And that is the reason that when we have started chewing the chapati, in some time we start feeling that chapati is a bit sweet. Because the starch is getting converted into sugar, and that is the reason why we feel it sweet. Okay? So, in human beings, digestion starts in the mouth itself. Okay? Now, when we have started chewing the food, as you know, the food gets mixed with the saliva, and then the food is then converted into bolus. A small ball-like structure is then made. Okay, so that bolus, this is the bolus that I have made over here. So that bolus then reaches the esophagus. Okay, in between we see that here is a pharynx. This pharynx is actually the common passage between the food pipe and the windpipe. And here there is one structure called as epiglottis. This epiglottis is a lid kind of structure which prevents the food in going inside the windpipe. Okay? So, in the esophagus, the food reaches from the mouth, and esophagus, as it's a long pipe-like structure and it is muscular. So what happens that the walls of the esophagus, they contract and relax. Walls contract and relax. Due to this contraction and relaxation, the food moves down, and this contraction and relaxation is called as peristalsis. Okay? Because of this peristaltic movement, the food, it moves down and it reaches the stomach. So in the stomach, the required medium for the digestion of food is acidic. Right? Acidic medium is required for the digestion of food, and this acidic medium is given by the hydrochloric acid. So hydrochloric acid is secreted by the walls of the stomach, and mucus is also secreted in the stomach. Okay? This mucus, it prevents the inner lining of the stomach from getting damaged because of the hydrochloric acid. And gastric juices are also produced by gastric glands in the stomach. So these gastric juices, they help in the breakdown of the food. Especially proteins, they break down into simpler substances. Okay? HCl has got one more function apart from providing the acidic medium. It kills the microorganisms in the stomach. So after this, after the food has reached the stomach, then food goes into the small intestine. Okay. Now in the small intestine, some juices are received from liver and the pancreas. So liver, it is a gland, and pancreas is also a gland. So liver, it gives out bile juice, and pancreas, they give out pancreatic juices. Okay. Bile juice, it works on the fat. On the fat molecule, this bile juice works and breaks down the fat molecule into simpler substances. Okay. And pancreatic juices, they contain certain enzymes which help in the breakdown of food. So those enzymes like work on fat and convert fat into fatty acid and glycerol. Then protein is converted into amino acid, and carbohydrates are converted into glucose. So these simpler substances, fatty acid, glycerol, amino acid and glucose, they are absorbed in the small intestine itself by the blood capillaries which are present in the villi. In the small intestine, there is one more thing, that is villi. These villi are some finger-like projections, somewhat like that, right? They are rich in blood capillaries, and all these simpler substances, they are absorbed by the villi, right? Why is this villi like this? This kind of structure gives more surface area for the absorption of food. Okay? Surface area is increased for the absorption of food, and villi, they are rich in the blood capillaries to absorb the simpler substances and make it reach to the bloodstream. Okay? So this is how the digestion takes place in the small intestine, and the undigested food, that is now waste for us, that reaches the large intestine, and through the large intestine it reaches the rectum and then passes out through the anus. So this is how the undigested food passes out through the anus. So once again, a recap. Food first reaches mouth, then from the mouth to the esophagus, then to the stomach. In the stomach there are three things: hydrochloric acid, mucus and gastric juices, right? In the small intestine, two things: bile juice from liver and pancreatic juice. Okay, the bile juice that is secreted from the liver, that is initially stored in the gallbladder. This pouch-like structure here, it is initially stored in the gallbladder and then it is supplied to the small intestine. Okay, so in the small intestine, liver and pancreas, they give out their juices, that is the bile juice and the pancreatic juice. This bile juice and pancreatic juice, bile juice works on the fat molecule and breaks it down, and in the pancreatic juices, enzymes are present. Those enzymes, they break the fat into fatty acid and glycerol, proteins into amino acid and carbohydrate into glucose, and all these simpler substances, they are absorbed by the villi which are present in the small intestine. So this is what is the digestion in humans. I hope we understood that. If there is any query related to whatever taught today, please mention it in the comments. And other than this also, if you want me to cover any video on some other topic, do mention it in the comments. I'll be certainly very happy to answer to your queries and prepare the video on the topic of your choice. Till then, bye. Happy learning. Thank you.